Ladies and gentlemen, I present for your delectation and entertainment around the universe. It is the James Whale Radio Show. And very good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're listening to us. Welcome to the program. This week, producer Rob is here.
I am indeed.
Good, just about, anyway. Right, let's kick off the show today. We're going to have a chat with legendary celebrity. Well, I suppose he was at the top of his game back in the 90s, really, wasn't he? Although, of course, he did have some prominence in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. He is Mr. Darren Day.
Woo!
So, ring him up.
You want me to ring him up?
Well, should we get him on the program? I mean, let's talk to Darren.
I don't think he's ready.
When's he ready, then?
He's going to be ready in a minute. He's a busy man. He's going to be ready in about 10 minutes.
Oh, well, in that case, we might as well get on with the program.
Okay.
We might as well say hello to all those of you who are listening to us. Sur le continent, as the legendary Jimmy Young used to say on his Radio 2 show. Hello to those of you in the Middle East. I hope that listening to this little program helps everybody realize that the way forward, of course, is mankind relying on mankind and not some supernatural beings. I'm not getting anywhere much with this. I know here in the 21st century, people still cling on to the idea that we're all going to live in some kind of paradise. What is wrong with making what we have now paradise? Do you know, I tuned into one of these religious television stations the other day by mistake. They seem to be breeding like anything. They insist in trying to pretend that they're normal by having rock singers on, but singing kind of religious songs, and everybody's standing there as if they're in some sort of trance. I just don't understand it. Do you?
No, not at all.
I mean, and now apparently the head of the Catholic Church wants to promote marriage.
Hey?
Yeah, you know.
Hasn't he always done that?
Well, yes, I thought so. I don't understand what, you know, what about those of us who didn't get married and have been together for many, many years? Is that not, you know? I mean, okay, we got married, but it was in a registry office, and some people just tend to look down their noses at that. Did you ever get married?
I got married, yes.
Where did you get married?
I got married in a stately home.
You know, well, that's nice, in a stately home. You see, now the opportunity, therefore, when we got married was not there.
And we had Bon Jovi playing live.
God, that must have cost you a few bob.
It was expensive, but it was worth it.
You got Bon Jovi to play at your wedding?
Yep.
I don't believe you.
I've got the video.
God, Bon Jovi played at my wedding. Yeah. I actually thought I'd be quite a good person to conduct weddings.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe we should get you a license.
Yeah, can anybody can get a license
Yeah,
now?
of course they can. Yeah.
I have to say, while watching these, have you seen some of the? I think is it TBUK or something, or I don't know what it. There are loads of these TV channels. They're sort of Muslim channels where you become Muslims, and Christian ones where you're, you know, and they all do the same sort of thing. And I just thought, what a wheeze it would be to start up your own. Because you know, you sit there and you spout out all this stuff, and people, I don't know, it's just quite funny. And then they say, send us money, and we'll pray for you.
Maybe we should do that. Send us money, and we'll do something for people. Send us money, and we'll wave at you.
Now that is a flipping good idea. Why didn't I think of that? We'll give you a whaley wave.
Yeah, we don't have to do it because they won't see us because we're on the radio.
Well, that's all right. That's all. That's a faith, isn't it? You just believe we have, and you'll be okay.
That's it.
Yeah, a whaley wave. You're a Jedi, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there we are. You're as barking mad as everyone else.
Thank you.
Yeah, but whaleys are not.
The whaley religion.
Well, yeah, whaleys. We are the true way forward. Whaleys.
Whaleys. Yeah. Okay.
When I think about it, I mean, we could start up whaley retreats, couldn't we?
We could invade countries.
Well, let's not go. That's the bad bit of faith, isn't it? You know, they're absolutely barking mad, and sort of through history, they're all very keen to sort of do untold and despicable things to people who don't believe what they believe. No, you don't have to join us. Look, we're not saying it's compulsory. You can believe whatever you want, but whaleys are the way forward.
I can be a Jedi and a whaley.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you know, when you meet another whaley, you do the whaley wave just to let them know you are one of them.
Which is so secret we don't even know what it is ourselves.
We have yet to invent the whaley wave. Any suggestions, just send them to me, jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. .co.uk. I don't know. What's the address? jameswhaleradio@gmail.com.
That's right.
Something.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So send me your suggestion for the whaley wave.
Or send us a video of a whaley wave.
Yeah, send us a video for a whaley wave. We'll put it up on our Facebook page. We ought to get more videos up on there.
Well, we need to get the camera out.
By the way, Van. You remember we played Van last week? Was it last week?
Men with Ven.
Men with Ven, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew it was a V. And they've been tweeting like mad. You know the song, which is a great little song. If you haven't seen the video, can we put the video up on our Facebook page?
The Misses.
The one about the Mother's Day. Make a really good Mother's Day song.
Oh, the new one. Yeah, we should play that. Yeah,
filmed in the pub.
Yes.
You know, I thought first of all it was Chaz and Dave.
I thought the guy on the end looked like the guitarist from Status Quo.
Yeah, well, I've watched it a couple of times now, and I think it is the ideal gift for Mother's Day. In fact, let's definitely say they've asked if they can be a guest on the show and do an interview. So write this down on your little notepad. We'll have them on next week.
Men with Ven, and we'll get the tune on next week.
Because I thought they were excellent. Now, listen, let's talk about legal highs. I was talking about that on various radio shows this week. Do you think legal highs should become illegal highs? There is a wish to do that. In fact, in Lincolnshire, they're making legal highs and those, what are they called? Head shops. I thought that's where you bought hats, but apparently not. So in Lincolnshire, you won't be able to use legal highs publicly. Well, I don't know if that's going to make much difference anyway, but there we are. So Tom Poole. Hi, Tom. We met Tom. Do you remember in Birmingham?
Oh, yes.
We had a drink. Good old Tom. Yeah, he listens every week. If you want to get high, climb a mountain. It's a really good point, Tom. Why would you need to spend something? You could just go and climb a mountain. Jason Crowley says drugs should be legalized and regulated with proper research and education. We as a society could try and get some benefit and make some sense out of today's drug culture. Drugs are here to stay. That's an indisputable fact. We need to make the best out of a bad situation. At the very least, we need to have an open and informed debate on the subject. That's the most sensible email I've received in a long, long time, Jason. Don't let that go to your head, by the way. Rachel says, depends what you're using it for. Self-medicating for the wrong reasons is no good, regardless of the substance. For pure fun, while I don't partake in any high, legal or otherwise, I'm not in any position to judge those who do. Interesting as well. You know, illegal highs hasn't stopped people using them. And sorry, I'm just reaching to find a pen in my studio. The other problem is if you make more stuff illegal, it's just going to drive it underground, isn't it? I would have thought. Robert Powell says alcohol cripples the health service and the police force like nothing else. The odd person getting treatment for some dodgy legal high is a drop in the ocean. Yeah, but I think the illegality of drugs per se isn't working. So something else has to be tried. Obviously, the most damaging drugs are alcohol, and it's been proven that if alcohol had been discovered today, it would never have been made illegal, would it? So I don't know whether that's a good reason to make them legal or not. I just think that people I use alcohol. I love alcohol. I don't love it, but I do have the occasional drink. Would making alcohol illegal today work? No, blatantly it wouldn't. It didn't work in America during the time of Prohibition. So I think going back to what Jason said, I think it is time for a proper grown-up debate about it. Daniel says, dangerous game, but what can be done, as most of the ingredients or products can be legally bought? Glad I'm too old to be in a position to want to try or be offered. You're never too old, Daniel. Never too old. Chris Young says any chemical cannot be good for you. James Green says, I dislike the term legal high because it implies that it's somehow quite harmless. Well, they're not. You know, some of these legal highs are probably worse than taking some other stuff that is not permitted. I only use coffee and alcohol, and I'm addicted to chocolate. I have, and that's a problem, you know, being addicted to certain foods as well. John says, legalizing everything. Or legalize everything. The illegal ones are less dangerous than the legal ones. People only use them because they assume legal is safe. Well, John, I'm afraid that isn't true either. But I do think I think the debate is well worth having. If you're a new listener, by the way, welcome to the program. You can find us here, of course, every week. And if you want more than an hour, go to our website, jameswhaleradio.co.uk, and we have over 70 hours. 70 hours of me just talking nonsense, more or less. And there you've got a shop, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got a shop, jameswhaleradio.co.uk/shop.
Yeah, and in the shop you can buy copies of a very famous person's autobiography. You can still get some signed if you want. You can get T-shirts, hats, caps, and all sorts of things, but only the people who we sell the T-shirts and the caps to are the best-looking people in the country.
I've got one. Have you got one?
I've got two.
Oh, you've got two. Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, you better get another one. And what else have we got over? Oh, yeah, audiobook. You can get yourself free audiobooks as well. If you're going away on holiday for Easter, you want to take an audiobook with you, follow the links. I mean, there is one that I've done, but you don't have to have that. You can have any one you want. So go and have a look at that. Shall we get Darren on now?
Okay, I'll give him a call now.
Sitting in my room and I'm on my own. It's cold outside and I'm feeling alone. So I turn that dial and my radio's on. I hear James Well and my troubles are gone. I hear James Well on the radio. I hear James Well and his podcast show. I hear James Well on the radio. James Well and his podcast show. James Well on the radio.
Now, it must have been nearly 15 years since I last spoke to my next guest. Darren Day, hi.
Hi, James. How are you?
I'm good, but more to the point, last time I spoke to you, I gave you a bit of a bollocking about your smoking, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Well, and you know, it stayed with me. And when I didn't, I can remember your words very vividly because we were talking about, you know, stuff. Lifestyle kind of choices, shall we say? And I remember saying, "Oh, well, I'm still smoking." And if I remember rightly, you said to me, "That will kill you quicker than anything." And it really stayed with me. Unfortunately, it didn't. I didn't manage to kick the habit. I kicked for a couple of years soon after that, but then I started again. But last July, I managed to stop completely, and now I've not smoked since the 11th of July last year, and on the lead up to me giving up, the week before I gave up, there were lots of little things that happened, things that my little girl said to me, and things that happened. And but one of the things that happened was your words went through my mind. I think I saw a tweet on Twitter, or I saw a post on Facebook. I saw something in the lead up to me giving up, and I saw that you'd put on. And as I saw your name, I remembered our interview and I remembered your words, and I went a bit cold, and I thought that was a long time ago to get that advice and to still be smoking, And 3 or 4 days after I had that thought and your words went through my head again, I stopped completely, and I'm now sort of, it was July, so I suppose I must be about 9 months or something like that down the road of recovery, shall we say, from being a smoker. Yeah. So I really do thank you for that, because your words really resonated with me, and I think because of what you'd gone through, I thought, as I remembered your words, I thought, what a fool to still be smoking, and thank God I stopped. And I'm so relieved I have. I mean, I feel so much better for having done it. Yeah, so I thank you very much. That was, sometimes people say things to you that stay with you, don't they? And that was certainly one of those times.
Well, I'm touched, and thank you for that. I remember the chat we had. I was working on a late night radio show on Talk Radio, and
That's right.
I'd just come out of hospital after having had a kidney removed because I had cancer. And also, I remember that you weren't in a very good place, I don't think, at the time. And you came in and we had a little bit of a chat, and I haven't spoken to you since then. I followed what you've been doing when you were in the jungle and everything else.
Oh my God! The jungle was 2002, so that would have been, so what's that, 13 years ago. So I guess our chat would have been a couple of years before I went out to Australia, because the series of I'm a Celebrity that I did was the first one ever. We were the guinea pigs, really, because it had never been done before in this country.
So what I need to ask you now, I know you've moved up north from being down in the south for many years, born and brought up in Essex, in fact, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it was, yes.
And we have a mutual friend, when I think about it, Luke Goss, don't we?
Oh God, yes, we do. Of course we do, and that's again kind of quite strange, really, because Luke's been on my mind the last couple of weeks, because I saw Matt Goss came over to do some stuff over here 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's resident in Las Vegas at the moment at Caesar's Palace, as you probably know, and he came over to do some promotion, and I saw him on a couple of sort of talk shows, and it got me thinking about Luke as well, because for quite a long time, Luke and I were very, very close pals, and we hung around a lot together, and I was hanging around with Luke really when he sort of was getting his band together. And now, of course, he's a very successful Hollywood actor, and but I've not seen him for a while.
He is indeed. Now let's talk about you, Darren, because I haven't heard of you doing much in the last 10 years or so. So let's talk about you.
That's
you live up north. What are you doing day to day?
Let's just say, James, that life's it's an unrecognisable life that I have now. And certainly compared to the last time that we talked, if it was 15 years ago, which I think you're right, I think it must have been. And I can remember being really buzzed up about coming in into your show, because, I think I probably told you at the time, I was a big fan. I've always been a fan of yours. And I was a fan of your late night TV show. And so I remember being really buzzed up about coming in to be interviewed by you. But no, I wasn't in a great place. And I had my best friend with me, who's been my best friend since I was 15, and is still my best friend, Ian, who came and did some security for me over a couple of 2 or 3 years when things were like that, when I needed security. And I can remember coming in and thinking, I wish I was in a better place to be doing this interview, because as I said, I was quite buzzed up to be interviewed by you, because I'd been a fan, and things were very different. I was in a bad place. It wasn't until the end of 2005 that life started getting life together again, and it's largely down to my wife. We met in November 2005. Well, we actually met in August 2005, but we started working together in the November, and she came along absolutely at the right time, and I managed to change my lifestyle around pretty much from the day that I met her. I'm now a very, very happily married man, father to 3 children, stepfather to a 16-year-old. And a very proud daddy, and a very devoted daddy, and I don't even so much as well as not smoking, I don't even drink anymore. It's complete abstinence for me, really. When you have that personality, that addictive personality like I have, the conclusion I came to after many, many years of making mistakes was, if I don't have the first one of anything, then that can't lead to a disaster of any kind, you know. And so that's how I live my life now, you know. I'm very grateful for, you know, for everything around me. Very grateful for my family, and you know, as these last few years have gone on, so you know, my career has started to come back, and people have put faith into me again, and I find myself in a very happy place, you know, in my mid-40s now. And
but you know, listen, let me tell you, I'm really, really pleased to hear that, because I always thought you were a really nice bloke. But you always the drugs and the alcohol always changed your personality, and I know you know that then.
Yes. Yes,
and so,
absolutely. It was, you know, it was strange really, because I never, it was a road I never really, I didn't realise I was going down that road for quite a long time really, until it was too late. I think I was, you know, I was really the epitome of the kind of the boy next door, you know, the you know, the records I released, the theatre that I did, the shows I presented on television. It was all very, very kind of, you know, sort of 3-generation friendly, if you like. And I think all I wanted to do was have a little bit of I think I just wanted to rebel a little bit. It was almost like a teenage thing came out in me in my sort of late 20s, because I'd done what everybody told me to do, you know. And I was being pulled in many directions. I had a fantastic management, but they had their own idea of what I should be and who I should be. I had the record company. I was signed to Simon Cowell at RCA Records, and they had a very clear-cut idea of what I should be and who I should be. I had my London Weekend Television contract and my theatre contract, where I was employed by companies such, you know, as the Really Useful Group, Andrew Lloyd Webber's company, or Apollo Leisure at the time, who were very, very big theatre production company. And all these you know, all these areas of my life, they all had their own ideas of what and who I should be, you know, how I should dress, how I should speak, and I did what everybody told me to do for the first 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. And one day I just wanted to rebel a little bit, if I'm honest. That's all I meant to do. I didn't realise that in you know, in sort of opening that door, Pandora's box, maybe, if you like, that I was really kind of, that was the beginning of the end, or could have been the complete end for me, but certainly sort of the beginning of the spiral downwards. And I didn't really realise how bad things were until it was all sort of too late, and I was gripped. And I sort of look back now, and I'm so, honestly, I know, you know, it can sound a little bit schmaltzy, whatever the word may be, but I'm so grateful for every day now, because I shouldn't really be here. You know, I was on borrowed time, and I've been told that on 2 or 3 occasions, and so I'm very lucky to be here, and I'm very, you know, incredibly lucky that I have such a wonderful wife and such wonderful children, and for, you know, for the support that they gave me, and I'm very lucky that, you know, I have some, you know, my career is really interesting again now, and I have the passion for life back. You know, I love the stuff that I've been doing in my career. I have the passion of a 24-year-old, of what, you know, when it all began for me at the London Palladium with Joseph. I have that kind of same passion I had back then as a young man, and I, you know, and to be honest with you, there was a point where I didn't think that life would ever be good again, and I'm very grateful for every day.
Tell me now, Darren, you had a number of celebrity girlfriends at the time, so I presume that your wife now, of 10 years, isn't a celebrity.
That's a difficult question to answer. My wife, it's very, very showbiz actually how we met. We met in a pantomime. And she was Cinderella and I was Buttons. I suppose it doesn't really get much more showbiz than that to some degree. But she's done a lot of stuff. You know, she's an actress and a singer. She did She did Emmerdale for a while, and she's done things like The Royal. She's done a lot of dramas, Casualty. But she's not, she's not she's people recognise her from Emmerdale. She did that for quite a few months at one point, and over, done 2 different times over a couple of years, 2 different sort of periods. So people do recognise her and stuff. But
Darren, what character did she play in Emmerdale? It's my favourite soap.
She played the King's secretary.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, she had a little affair with Matthew King.
He was killed off, wasn't he?
He was, yes. Yeah. Nothing to do with my wife, though. But
I want to know that you're going to come back, and in the way that Matt Goss took When Will I Be Famous as their legendary teeny bopper song and turned it into a kind of crooner, sort of Frank Sinatra style record. I want to know, are you going to start doing something similar and something grown up?
Well, it'll be very interesting, it will be very interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things bubbling at the moment, James. I was singing White Christmas until the very end of January, which felt a little bit strange, but I went back to my roots this Christmas, and I went back to musical theatre. I haven't done it. I stepped out of musical theatre consciously back in 2009 after I did We Will Rock You. And I wanted to concentrate on some sort of screen acting, which I have done. I've got a film coming out later this year, and I went and I did 6 months on Hollyoaks, playing a kind of London gangster. But I went back to musical theatre this year. I did White Christmas at the West Yorkshire Playhouse in Leeds, and I kind of fell in love with it again. I fell in love with the whole concept of performing again, really, to be honest with you, on stage. And so there's a few opportunities come from that. There's also, there are some opportunities have come about through green stuff that I've been doing as well. But I do, it's a very, what you've just said, that would be my ideal at this point. It would be to kind of get out there again and do something, but do something as the grown-up Darren Day, and not as the boy that I was perceived as, and do something, and I think Matt is a very, very good example, because I saw Matt interviewed a couple of times 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I thought he's still a good-looking chap. I always thought he was a very classy guy, he's one of the best singers I've ever heard, and I think Matt Goss is a really good example. I stepped in for my pal Joe Longthorne last year. He had to have a life-saving operation. He had a cancer of the throat, Joe. Thank God he's made a very full and fast recovery and is back singing again now. But he had this operation back in July, and he had some dates in last year that he asked me to take over from him and step in his shoes for, because it's not, I think you may know, but it's not widely known that I started out doing impressions. And so mainly as a singer impressionist in the first part of my career before Joseph came along. And so I stepped in his shoes and did a few of his concerts last year. And there's been an interest since I've done that in me popping out to Vegas and doing a little stint out there. And so I think Matt Goss is a really, really good example of someone, I think, what a fantastic rebirth he has had. And also Luke as well. I think Luke's had a fantastic rebirth, and they're both now the grown-up version of themselves. And so, that's certainly where, I now am ready to be the grown-up version of myself and get out there again and see what happens,
Well, I think you need to do that. I think I remember talking with Luke many evenings. We used to live in Canary Wharf, sort of as neighbours in London, and we used to sit in the evening outside a pub, and he would say, "Look, I'm off to Hollywood." And I used to say, "Oh, yeah." And he said, "No, I can't get a job here. I can't. Nobody's prepared to think of me as anything but a guy who used to be in a boy band or a teeny bopper idol." He said, "I've got to go and I've got to reinvent myself and start all over again." And that's exactly what he did. And that's exactly what you can do now.
Yeah, thank you, James. Thank you. He did do that, and I think Matt's done that as well. And they're great inspirations, really, for living proof that it also can be done. But they went and did it over the pond, But then, of course, once you've gained that that success over there, then you can come back here and and sort of let people know what you've been doing and stuff. And so,
well,
I think that
you're like me. You see, you're a married man now. Although my kids have grown up, you've got to stay and look after your kids and let them go through school and stuff like that. So you can do that over here.
Well, well, listen, I mean, that's certainly the plan, James. That's certainly the plan. I think it does take a while, doesn't it, to shake off the past, and with the tabloid image. I do come with, my arms are strong because I carry all this baggage. There's a perception of me from from the tabloid image. There's a very contradictory image of me from the past. There's this tabloid bad boy with the drugs and the women and the partying and that kind of image, and then there's the musical theatre guy. Who those two images are very different. Sometimes I meet people, and sometimes they have the image of the tabloid guy. And then sometimes, this Christmas is a good example of going and working with some younger people who knew me from musical theatre, who sort of maybe I think they'd gone to sort of theatre school, and been, and seen me when I was doing musical theatre regularly. And I remember one of the girls saying, "Look, I thought you'd speak really posh. I thought you'd be really middle class." And of course, as you said earlier, I come from Essex. I'm a working class boy. So there's these two very different, contradictory images of me, and sometimes it's tough to know which one I need to dispel, if you know what I mean. But all I know is I'm in a good place. Thank goodness, and certainly since I've stopped smoking, my voice. I'm touching loads of wood as I speak, but it's come back. I didn't lose it as such, but it wasn't what it was for a while. And I thought maybe, I feared that maybe that was the case forevermore. But since since my lifestyle has completely changed, and certainly, since I've stopped smoking, my voice has really come back, and I have I'm still managing to sing, to sing to a good degree, if you like, and I suppose as an actor, a lot of the stuff that I've been through, I feel like, the acting jobs that I've done in the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like I sort of bring a lot more to them now because of where I went to in life. I guess what you have to do with all these things, the things that happen to you, the journey that you go on, you have to channel them and use them in some way, and that's what I'm doing. And I feel in a very good place now to be that grown-up version of Darren Day, and so we'll see what happens. But I'm really pleased to have spoken to you, and when that gig comes along, when the sort of the comeback gig comes along, if you like, I'd love to come back and talk to you about it.
Well, I'd like you to do that. In fact, you could do better than that. You can get them to book me in to announce you on stage.
Oh man, I would love to do that. Well, I'll tell you what, that's what we'll do. That's the deal we'll make.
All right.
Yeah, that's the deal we'll make. When the big kid comes along, I'll make sure you're there to do the business with me. Yeah. All right, James, it's really, it is a pleasure to speak to you. It really is, and lovely to do it after all these years. And I haven't done a chat like this, to be honest with you, for a long time. And it's sort of, I suppose, we haven't sort of planned it, and it came about sort of by chance, really, didn't it, this week? But it's all, But I'm glad I've had a chat with you, and I'd love to see you again soon, maybe sometime.
Thanks, mate. Listen, good to talk after all these years.
Yeah, very good to talk to you too, James. It really is, and I'll stay off the facts,
Yeah, do, because it will kill you in the end. So I would.
Absolutely, and I hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, let's do that, please.
Cheers, James.
All right, buddy. Bye.
All the best, my friend. Take care. Bye.
Ooh, hang on just a minute. Hold on. Hello.
That you are owed or missold PI. Please press 5 to speak to the refund team who will process your refund today. Or press 9 to opt out.
Hello, you're through to the refund department. You're speaking to Hannah. Could I start by asking your first and your last name, please?
No, I don't need your help, but I'm getting fed up with your calls. So could you stop ringing this number? Do you get fed up with calls like that? I most certainly do. So I tell you, Rob, isn't it good news that the government's going to pass legislation to stop these stupid people ringing up the whole time? It's getting beyond a joke. And I also would love to know any company out there who actually thinks that they get a benefit from these people basically shouting at you down the phone. Can you give me your first name? And you know, it beggars belief. And strangely enough, that was a live phone call while we're sitting here doing the program. They just don't care, do they?
Nope.
Do you get those?
No, I don't answer my phone.
No, I noticed that. Next time I'm calling, make sure you pick it up.
Okay.
Right, so what was I talking about? I was talking about it on another radio station the other day, these unsolicited calls that really annoy the heck out of me. Actually annoy the heck out of me. 10 years on, should we lift the ban on fox hunting? People are talking about the possibility of it now. What do you think? We asked this on Facebook, did we not?
We did.
Cliff Marsh says, how can it be right for horses, men and dogs to chase a terrified animal and when they catch it, rip it to pieces? That can't be sport. Janet Jenkins says, nope, most certainly not. Vivian Ada Foot says, beautiful animal. Let them hunt rats. There is more of them. Do you know, I like rats. I don't, those of us who eat meat, there is a necessity for animals to die for us to eat meat, unfortunately. But the actual business of killing things is pretty abhorrent. I mean, if we all had to kill, well, we wouldn't be able to. If we all had to hunt our own food, we'd eat less meat. In fact, I think we should eat less meat than we do. And I think supermarkets in a way are to blame, because supermarkets make meat look like something other than dead animal. It used to be you went to the butcher and the pig was hanging up and it was quite clearly a pig, or a sheep was quite clearly a sheep, and a cow was quite clearly a cow. Now, in fact, there was a complaint not long ago about a butcher's where it had animals with their heads on in the window, and locals campaigned to stop it. Maybe we need some more animal heads displayed so we actually remember which animal gave their life for us to eat it. I don't know. Have you got any thoughts on that or not?
No, I totally agree. I spoke to that butcher, if you remember.
Yes, you did. Yeah. I forgot that was on this program, wasn't it?
He was, yes.
Yeah. Right, listen, I think it's time for you to do tech talk.
Okay.
Because lots of people want tech talk. Or should we do some music before we do tech talk as well? Because we've got a rather nice track. Alaska and In Media Res. Well, when I say it's interesting, is it not?
It's the
There we are, Alaska, from their new album, Prospero. It's available on iTunes, of course. And as I always say at this time, if you would like to be on the show, if you want to play music on the show, just get in touch. jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. You're listening to the James Whale Radio Show online, on your tablet, on your phone, on your computer, on your radio station. You can get us everywhere. If you want to get in touch, of course, just drop me an email, jameswhaleradio@gmail.com, or you could tweet me as well at the James Whale. You want to send a tweet? Send me a tweet at the James Whale. Now, let's get into tech talk. What are we going to do this week?
We're going to talk about fans.
What, fans of the show?
Hopefully fans of the show that have laptops with fans in them.
Fans and lap dancers. Excellent. All right, off you go.
Laptops.
Oh, laptops.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. So laptops, the fans, yeah, they're annoying as well. They sometimes decide to make an enormous amount of noise.
And do you know why that is?
Of course not. I'm not technically minded.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. It's to do with the fans' heatsink are blocked with dust, a bit like a Dyson Hoover. You have to change the filters. Can we say Dyson? Is that advertising?
Well, yeah, send them a bill. I don't mind. You want to advertise on the programme, get in touch with Robbo, jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. We'll do you a great package.
So if you hear your fans whirring on your laptop, put your hand, or your face is better, by the grills on the side of the laptop where the air comes out. If you don't feel any air blowing against your face or your hand, you've got a serious problem.
Well, when you say a serious problem, I mean, how much of a problem is it? Is it likely to ruin your laptop?
It is. It's likely to kill the laptop, as in nothing will come on the screen anymore, dead laptop. We see a lot of laptops coming with this issue.
And so what do we need to do?
You need to take it in for a service, get the fans cleaned out.
You see, my laptops don't last more than about 3 years, and then I have to get another one. Is that wrong, or should I just be getting them serviced?
3 years is a good lifespan for a laptop, to be fair.
Is it? I thought they lasted forever.
Well, they will last forever, but people update things. People put more modern software on, which slows the laptop down. That's why you need a new laptop. If you use the same software all the time, then you never need to change your laptop.
But you do need to get it serviced.
You need to get your fans serviced, yes.
The problem, of course, is that lots of people rely on their laptop and they can't afford to have it out of their sight.
It's only a 20-minute job. It's nothing major.
Oh, so you could go in and you could wait while you have your dust blown?
You could do, yes.
Now, of course, the answer is use an iPad instead.
No fans in an iPad, so that's fine.
Yeah. Use an iPad in bed without any problem.
Well,
that's interesting. That's the first bit of tech talk that I found really interesting. Right, shall we do any questions for me this week? Of course, as everybody knows, I am the Oracle.
Okay, let me find the page then. I've got a few questions here somewhere.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Find the questions.
Right.
Why can't I find the question?
I don't know. You're really badly organised.
It's all right. It was under Tech Talk. It's moving on, see. Are we ready then for some questions?
Yes, we are. I must apologise to our friends who we talk about stuff on Facebook, and I say we're going to talk about it here. Sometimes we don't get round to it. And the news agenda moves on, but we do enjoy the interactions on Facebook and Twitter, do we not?
We do, but don't be so nasty to each other.
Yeah, why, are they doing that again?
Yeah.
What were they being nasty about this week?
Oh, I can't remember. Every time I go to your Facebook wall, it's people start having digs at each other, you know. People have their own opinions, let them have them, you know.
Opinions on what? Fox hunting, I suppose, and... Politics, yeah. You know, you've got to learn to accept a different point of view. The world is going mad because people with different points of view want to kill the other person. Just listen, you don't have to use abusive language. You just put your point of view. If you're too stupid and too pig ignorant to be able to do it without swear words, then sod off. I don't want you bloody listening to me.
Sally, you've done your slapping of the wrist now. Can I do the questions?
I think we should, yes. Okay. Carry on.
Martin Bramner. Will Natalie Bennett make a good PM or even remember her own name?
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, my old friend Nick Ferrari really had a great interview there. We would all love that. And from time to time, I'm sure we've all had a politician full of themselves who thinks they know everything. And of course, a lot of them are not very media savvy. I think Natalie Bennett would actually benefit. We were going to ring her office, weren't we?
That's true.
Yeah, you forgot about that. We should have done that. We should ring her office, and I should offer her some media training because, quite frankly, I cannot see her continuing as the leader of any political party if she cannot do better than that. So I don't think there's a lot of hope for her in the future, unless, of course, she knocks on my door and says, James, well, she says something like, James, can you give me some media training? And I'd say, yes, of course. If the price is right, I can help you. But if ever you are ever being interviewed by anyone, don't try and con them. Because if they're an interviewer of any kind of stature at all, they will know it. And if they ask you a question and you try and brush over it, and this is in job interviews as well. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, and you think I'll bamboozle them a little bit by putting another point, and by the time I finish putting the other point, they will have forgotten the question. Well, if you're a good interviewer, you won't, and what you do is you let them carry on, and then you say, look, that's interesting, but let's just get back to the question. How much is this going to cost? And if they give you another one of those long round the houses answers, just listen to it, let it go on, and then come back to it again and say, well, that's great, but now let me get back to the original point. And eventually, if they have anything about them at all, they say, look, to be honest, I don't have that information to hand, but of course I can find it out and let you have it. In her case, she's going out on the day they start presenting the Green Party as a political force. She should have known the answer to all those questions. If you're going to say you can do something and you're a politician, then you ought to be able to tell the person asking you the questions how you're going to achieve it, how you're going to pay for it, etc., etc. That was a very long-winded answer, but basically, just ask me the question again.
Will Natalie Bennett make a good PM or even remember her own name?
No.
Okay. Jay Howard, can I get a rewind?
Well, you can get a rewind, Jay. Whether or not the rewind would actually do you any good, I'm not sure, mate.
Fred Blackburn, when will the government, with common sense... Oh, hang on, I'll read that again.
Do you want me to do the questions as well?
No,
what are you trying to say here? When will the government with... when will we... Should I do this for you? When will we get a government with common sense and a prime minister with a backbone? Oh, right. Okay. Well, the answer to that, quite frankly, is you never will, because whoever wins an election in a democracy will not be the choice of some of the people of the country. So, some people will think that we have a fabulous prime minister with a very strong backbone at the moment, and some people won't.
Brian Wolfgang Woodworth, why do people insist on getting on a bus without the correct change?
Well, I've no idea, to be honest. I presume because they haven't thought about it. They want to rush on the bus. But here's a much more interesting question, if I might be so bold. Why, when you're getting off a bus or getting off a train, do the people waiting to get on it stand moronically in front of you and not get out the flipping way? Why do they stand there, gormlessly looking blank, while you're trying to get off the bus or the train, and they're just there in the way? Stupid. Human beings do really annoy me sometimes.
Ed Owens, is the meaning of life 42 or whatever the courts give you?
87. Move on.
Lee Wagner, how can 3 girls who were not old enough to buy fags, drink, do the lottery, vote or get married get through an airport without security stopping them?
Well, that is the big question, and the answer to that is because we are just not paying attention to the things we should be paying attention to, and we're not paying attention to what our kids listen to and look at online. There are some very mad, stupid people in the world, and they need to be dealt with. Now, whether we're dealing with them in the right way, I'm not sure. The politicians say, well, we're not going to put boots on the ground. We're not going to go in and deal with IS. Well, eventually we will have to. There will be no other way. But there might even be some kids who look at that sort of stuff who are listening to us now. Don't be conned by these people. Life is what you make it. Life is not what somebody else tells. You know, concentrate on the here and the now and the people that you know. And people offering you sort of, I don't know, salvation or whatever it is all over. Just most of these people have an axe to grind. And you know, we all go at a certain age in life, usually in your sort of teens, we all go through this idea that we're not happy with everything and nobody understands us. Unfortunately, that's part of growing up. But we must, as parents, as adults, we must keep a check on our kids, because now in this modern day and age, with the internet, with social media, they can be got at by some very, very twisted people. You know, there are all kinds of people out there in the world who think their way is the best, and they don't want anybody doing anything or disagreeing or trying to change the way things are. It's been the same all through history. Go back through history and see. You get these people with certain faiths, certain beliefs, who want to make sure that other people have to believe the same thing. And go back into the Middle Ages, it was just as appalling. Go back through time to the Reformation and everything else, and it's always been the same. Now, unfortunately, they can use the internet and social media, and they do. They do. So it's up to us to protect our kids. How do three kids so young manage to get it? Well, because they didn't look that way and people weren't looking closely enough. Maybe now they will.
Pauline Codd, Mangle Wurzels, where can I get some from my veggie plot?
Any good vegetable retailer.
But she wants the seeds.
Any good vegetable retailer.
Really?
Well, of course, when I talk of I'm not talking about a greengrocers. I'm talking about somebody who sells vegetable plants and seeds.
You mean
a vegetable retailer. Go to your local garden centre that actually sell vegetables, and if not, get online and Google them. I think that's almost time to go. Listen, thanks to Darren Day. It was really great to catch up with Darren and hear that, you know, he's turned his life around. We wish him a lot of happiness in the future. And next week, we're going to get the who the band on that we were talking about?
Men with Ven.
Men with Ven, yeah, we'll have them on next week. Listen, I've got to go because I've got to go to the little boys' room. In the meantime, take it easy and spread the Whaley word.
To the James Whale Radio Show. For more information, visit www.jameswhaleradio.co.uk. Why not check us out on Facebook.com/James Whale Radio Show, or follow James on Twitter @the James Whale. James Whale, the voice of reason.